I think about 1978 for you. It's been an unbelievable year. In your wildest dreams, did you ever imagine that you would become the #1 movie star of this country? Truthfully. Did you think about it? Was it a goal?
Everything happened so quickly, and things happen so, I mean, no one could ever imagine this, I guess, You could maybe want it or desire it, but I don't know if you could ever imagine what it would be like. Talking about that, what we just spoke about earlier, since you have no preconceived idea of what it is like, it just sort of happens, and the year goes on. I mean, it's been 1 year since Saturday Night Fever, and so much has happened that I've almost not sat back to register what has happened. So I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I'm thrilled with what has happened, but...
You seem to be coping. I don't know too many young people at age 24 who cope. I mean, unless it's a facade, unless you're doing an act with me, and I don't know, I really don't know. You seem to be getting on. You don't seem to be rattled by what most people experience as enormous pressures. Do you find enormous pressures are on you?
Yes, and it's very hard to cope with them. I mean, it's not an easy thing. I mean, I understand every sort of classic Hollywood story of disaster that has happened, because there are points when you think everything is going to, where you're going to break down, and for some reason, when I ever get to that point, I get very sort of logical or sane, and I take an objective viewpoint when it is rock bottom, let's say, or when you feel at wit's end. But it's not easy. I wouldn't say it's easy. And also, what makes it easier is the good things that happen. I mean, there's so many wonderful validations, let's say, of your ability and the things you can assume in the physical world, that they help sort of pamper you along. So when things are down or not going so well, or emotionally, let's say, you sort of have to take a look and say, well, there's a balance here. You've got a lot of what you've always wanted, and in all areas. So when you really, I guess I'm a realist, and when I really take a look at what's happened to me, anything that's sort of been negative, or I've gotten to be and have much more than most people ever would dream of. So when I really take a real look at it, it's very exciting. And what if I were to go through all the emotional traumas that I normally would have if I didn't have all this?
Why? Why aren't you going through them? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Oh, no, I'm saying another thing. In other words, let's say this year hadn't happened.
Yes.
And I was doing something I didn't want to do in life. I mean, it could be so much worse. That what I'm saying is that the realist in me takes a look at everything that has happened and say, come on, John, you're getting a good deal here. You're in your life.
But what I'm saying is that I don't know too many fellows your age who, if the same things were happening to them, would look, sit back and say, hey, look, John, this is really a terrific life. I can't really complain. I mean, where does it come from, John? Where did you sort of develop this realism?
Perhaps it's my background, and when, for some reason, when you start where I've started and worked yourself up, you sort of really appreciate what's happened to you. I mean, I've always held a job since I was 10 years old, and always sort of, my parents, although they could have given more, and always did, but they always held something for my own motivation. You'll feel better if you do it on your own, or if you get a job, or if you buy your clothes on your own, whatever. And they would actually do it if I'd really wanted to, but I'll always appreciate that. I hated it at the time. Why can't I have it for nothing? Why can't I But now I appreciate it so much because I really get excited about what I have, what I earn, and what I get, and on all levels. Working hard as an actor, and then the sort of everything that goes along with it. I appreciate it more. Maybe, I don't know. That's one way to look at it.
What about money? I mean, it's had to change for you, especially. Yes, you've obviously been earning very good money doing Cotter. But in this past year, with the successes of Saturday Night Fever, Grease, and hopefully with the very new one, Moment by Moment, what happens to someone who suddenly sees a pile of money that obviously one can't imagine? Do you change? What's it like? You're smiling. What do you think?
Because I thought of this movie called Dollars years ago, that when Goldie Hawn opened, she and Warren Beatty rob a bank, and she opens the sack full of money, and she turns to Warren Beatty and she says, "Does money have anything to do with having an orgasm?" Right? So, I only laughed at it because it immediately went to that. But what it does is everyone grows up with dreams of what they would like and want, and it helps fulfill some of those dreams for you personally. And to say it's not exciting would be wrong, and I'll never,
Do you find you live differently?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. It's...
Are you extravagant?
No, but I do take better care of myself than I did before.
In what way? Do you go to see doctors, or do you eat better?
I eat better, and I dress myself better, and I drive in a nicer car and have a nice house, and it is something I appreciate, And yet I always feel like it could be taken away from me. And because of my background, it not hurt me. Do you know what I mean? It's like I really know I can play at the game of having this and it not really affect my life for some reason. I don't know why.
Do you think you'd not be devastated if tomorrow it would all go?
Yeah, but again, that realist in me sort of says, John, you had a good time with it, didn't you? And you never had it to begin with. So you'll learn to do without. It's not the end of your life.
A number of...
far worse things have happened, do you know what I mean?
I can imagine, yeah.
So.
A number of your peers have been constantly complaining this year, those who've really also attained a different kind of stardom, that they really are not coping, that they find the burden of being a star more than they ever imagined. They find their life being interrupted by fans almost intolerable. Do you find any of those things happening for you? Do you find that you've lost your privacy at all, or doesn't it bother you?
I've definitely lost my privacy, but again, Rona, you go back to weighing things and what you need and want, and I wanted to be a good actor and to be successful, and again, with all the inconveniences of it, you get so much, on a lot of other levels that you have to really take a look at it and really say, well, I say, well, I wouldn't trade. So what if I'm inconvenienced and I get angry and get annoyed that my privacy is sometimes interrupted. But when I really take a look at whether I would trade or not, I don't know if I would. I like living. But again, I think it stems from the kind of background you come from and when you can appreciate it. And, I don't take it very lightly what has happened and the gifts that have been given to me from all angles. I just appreciate it, and again, I can have it, and if it's gone, I'll let go of it. But I really believe that we have to enjoy. That's what we all sort of have an opportunity to do that and have fun with our success and our lives. And when you can do it, and when you have a reference point, a point of reference in the past, it becomes more fun. You know?
Aside from your background, does your involvement with Scientology, a religion that it appears to be that a number of other young actors have turned to quite seriously, has it helped you? What does Scientology provide for you?
Well, again, I think it has helped me, most definitely, and it's given me some stable viewpoints that I like. Do you know what I mean? I like a lot of things, what it stands for and says on an ethics level and in several other areas. And it's a good, people need a point of reference sometimes. And if you agree with a point of reference, it's exciting because then you can apply it to your life. In a lot of ways, it's really straightened out some areas that helped me.
Were you raised a Catholic?
Mm-hmm.
You were. Does this mean when you go into Scientology, you've given up Catholicism?
Oh, no.
No, it can go hand in hand?
Absolutely. There's Jewish Scientologists, Catholic Scientologists, Protestant. Yeah.
No, I just didn't know whether the other formal religions were given up in favor of this. In other words, whether this becomes a new form of religion for you.
No, not really. It deals a lot of other things, handling a lot of your problems and emotional life. It goes into more of that area. And a religion, I believe, is just several people believing in the same thing. So it can be under several categories. It doesn't have to be in sort of formal use of it.
When you decided to do Saturday Night Fever, and then Grease, and now Moment by Moment, were choosing those projects, were they purposely chosen? Because in Saturday Night Fever, you certainly have broken ground and as a result created a whole new way of life for people. And now with your latest film, Moment by Moment, you are breaking ground once again, because the man that we meet on the screen is a man, I believe, we have never seen before. In choosing those particular projects, were you aware that you were going to break ground?
More so in the latter, more so in Moment by Moment, because that was a real objective choice that I had. I read the script, and it was one of those points in your career where I had the power and the objectivity to say I should do this or not do this, and not be in a situation where you have to. Not even you have to, but it would just be a good thing to do. It's just whether you want to or not. That's the kind of thing where Saturday Night Fever was a great thing for me, but it was also in a point where there was a move that had to be made career-wise, and it was an exciting role and exciting dynamics to it. But Moment was more of a sort of choice that I had in many more ways.
Strip in Moment by Moment is extremely sensitive, very vulnerable, a very needy man. Do you think the American public can accept this kind of a new male object? I don't even know if object is the correct word, but this kind of new male whom we've really never seen before.
Hopefully. I think if there's anyone that at this point can present it, hopefully it's me, because of the films this year that I've been able to give to the public. And this is a change-up, obviously. And their great acceptance of me. I'm hoping that this new character will be as well accepted as both of the others.
How would you describe him?
Well, he's very, obviously he's very sensitive, but he's very direct and has very few guards. And he's very open with his needs and his wants. And it's something that, unfortunately, men have not been able to be in real life or on film. And this new character I've seen before. I see some of him in me, and I see some of him in other men I've met. And I picked up this perception of this kind of character, and thought it was very unique and something that we all have, but needed to be. It's just like, if I can compare it to the disco dancing in Saturday Night Fever. I mean, it broke ground so men could have a good time dancing and still be considered masculine, and the whole works. And it's done that. Well, with this character, hopefully it will bring out the openness and sensitivity that I know many men have and that are afraid to express it and use it.
Why? Why, John, have men been so afraid of sharing their real feelings with other men as well as with women? I mean, what is it? I mean, does it make a man less masculine or macho if he cries?
Oh no, I think that's exactly why Strip is hopefully out there to say something. No, I don't think so at all, and I think that it's just a standard that we've created somehow through the years that should be broken and deserves to be, because there's no need for men to suppress themselves anymore. There really isn't, and we can have just as much fun as anyone else.
Do you know other people like Strip?
Yes.
Are they mainly men in that age category? I mean, are they mainly men who are of your generation, in their 20s?
Yeah. A lot of them are. I mean, not a lot of them. I know a few people like that have similar qualities, but yeah, I'd say so. I think there's a little more license in my generation to this kind of psyche. I really do. I know in my growing up there was a much more affectionate thing going on, a little more direct and openness. I think we've evolved a little bit more in this direction. That's why I think hopefully this character will help push him through, like the dancing did with Fever. I think it's important to do that with films too, to sort of help. I mean, aside from the entertainment, to sort of help people along.
The interesting thing, though, is when I was watching moment by moment, I was beginning to feel that this was almost a role reversal.
Mm-hmm.
That in a strange way, what I was hearing you say and do were the very things that I used to see women do.
That's right.
And never the man.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a conscious effort on everyone's part to do this, or was this your own desire and own effort?
Well, Jane Wagner, the writer, is obviously very insightful. And I read the script and agreed with it, and I've often felt the things that have been said in the script. And if I felt it, I know other men have felt it. And I think that it was...
Yes,
this
but
has to be...
do you think it would work with someone your own age? I was wondering, if you are something like Strip in your emotional makeup, how do other women your age relate to your candidness, your ability to say, I hurt inside, I'm feeling happy inside, or basically just to express what you're feeling and what you're thinking without being manipulative?
Well, there's one thing I can't do for people or men, and that is have the ability to make them perceive the proper people to share this with. You see, that's something that's an individual, and a lot of sensitive people suffer from from the pain of the insensitive and the uncreative. Do you know what I mean? So therefore, a lot of times you'll choose to share your innermost feelings and emotions with someone who will not accept it. Do you see? Or cannot for some reason. And therefore, in that case, you have sort of flunked yourself because you've obviously just brought it to the wrong person. So hopefully you have to perceive the person. You have to give safely. I mean, I don't believe in giving to someone who I don't feel safe around. Do you know? And obviously this character in the film felt safe enough to be this open and give. I mean, from his background, he's obviously had to protect himself sometimes, but I, as John Travolta, will not give unless I feel it's totally safe. And that's okay, because why give it indiscriminately? I mean, why not have a little choice in your life? But that you can preach being open and vulnerable to people, but then also you have to say protect yourselves in the proper situations.
Is it saying something in that you find yourself in somewhat of a comfortable position giving to an older woman, as in the case in this movie, with someone like Lily, who is obviously much older than you are?
Well, yeah, I think that Strip sensed, which was ultimately true, sensed this safety area, and that he seemed to be attracted to someone. I mean, obviously he's sensitive enough to perceive that although this woman has certain defenses and is sort of uptight in certain areas, there is something underneath that would ultimately he could share with and help himself and her.
Can you explain the particular appeal an older woman can have for a younger man?
Well, in some cases, there is a certain what would be the word?
What are you trying
lived
to say?
and experienced that therefore there's much more grace given. You are not as at fault so easily. You see, now this is not all cases. I'm talking about I mean, if I were to make a generality of a new sweep of younger men being interested in older women, it could be a safety. A feeling of safeness. I mean, in other words, whatever I do is okay. I'm not going to be considered an idiot or.
Is it because an older woman almost doesn't have a point of reference? Because many times she's never been involved with a younger person, a younger man, and therefore she can't sit around and really criticize the relationship because she has nothing really to base it on? I mean, there's been no prior experience 90% of the time.
Well, that's possible, absolutely. But I also think it could have something to do with the experience that person has had, and therefore being able to understand whatever the other person is going through, and therefore giving space to it. Do you know what I mean? Not making such a big deal over certain things. Do you know?
Well, it seems to be much more prevalent today, and I was wondering, when you did Moment by Moment, was it again a conscious design by everyone involved with the film to have an older woman really be involved with a younger man on a much more interesting level, I would have to say, than one would have imagined?
Mm-hmm. I think it was definitely a conscious decision on my part and others, because it is interesting. I think it even exceeds that. I think it just even gives insight to most relationships.
Because it was very interesting when Lily turns to you and you ask her, "Do you love me? Tell me you love me." And she really can't. And what you're really getting at is the differentiation between love and sex. And then she turns around and she says, "But I really love you in bed." And that rather cripples you. Has something like that happened in your own life? I mean, do you find that in the older woman, younger man relationship that basically the woman is there because she wants to have a younger lover as opposed to a younger friend?
I think it's probably, there's many, it's complex, do you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of, all of that in there. And sometimes with any relationship, you're not sure of how much is just pure physical desire and really loving. A lot of times when you take a little space and look at the relationship objectively, or, you know, miss that person for whom they are, as opposed to just the sex act. You know what I mean? There's a lot of tech layers there to reveal. I think that's what the film was actually doing, was examining different viewpoints, what she's going through, what he's going through, what each other's needs and wants are and were, and how they'll fit in or not. I mean, obviously, it seems to work out a bit at the end, you know, in fulfilling each other in some areas.
She also says something else that's rather interesting. After you've made love, she turns to you and she says, I want to know everything there is to know about you. Are men today, men of your generation, willing to give that much of themselves and tell everything, tell all?
Well, perhaps it's so rare when a person is genuinely interested in everything about you that it could be exciting to some men that someone wants to know. I think it was with Strip. He was excited that someone wanted to know about him. Truly, not just where did you live, what's your favorite color, you know, that kind of thing. Just talking about really know something about them and share their background, their upsets, their whatever. The idea that she was genuinely interested in him was of great importance and excitement to him.
I think you know that I am genuinely interested in you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what you're feeling right now?
You mean?
Just sitting here talking? I mean, are there other thoughts that go through your head?
Yeah, hoping that what I say makes sense and sort of comes out right. Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to be clear in my thoughts and I like to paint a clear picture for people to understand and not be sort of complex or over analytical or just so they get my viewpoint and then I don't murk it up sometimes.
It's funny that when you do an interview with someone, they always tend, most of the time, to be very serious, but I know there's a great comedic side to you.
Mm-hmm.
How do I provoke that?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Well, you know what I think brings on the seriousness?
What?
That fear of wanting to say the right thing suddenly becomes an inhibition, you know, so therefore, depending on how the questions are asked or approached, there can be a air of seriousness and yeah, I think that a lot has to do with it too. I don't know how to provoke my hand. Tell jokes.
Johnny, in all your 24 years, who would you have to say has been the most influential person in your life?
Oh, it goes in so many stages. My family probably was the first to influence me and inspire me. And then as I got on and became a professional actor, I guess it was my manager who gave me that sort of support, and the inspiration that I had created suddenly then could be of use in a even more, you know, in a bigger way. And his support there helped me, inspired me in a lot of ways. It's very hard to pinpoint because I'm
Not one particular person. If you had to look back over the 24 years, would you say X person, any one individual?
again, I'd have to group it in years. I mean, the first maybe 12 years of my life was probably my mother, who influenced her sensitivity and her ability as an actor and director, and her psyche influenced me. And then alongside of that was my sister, older sister, who was in the business. And on another angle was my father. It's very hard to pinpoint it. Do you know what I mean? As one person, do you know, it really is.
Do you think because you're the one person at this precise moment who has become more successful than the other Travoltas, that there is a greater pressure on you to take on a larger responsibility to make sure that everyone in your family is okay, doing all right, living in a fairly good surroundings, has enough food to put in their mouths? Do you feel any kind of a burden or responsibility to do anything like that?
Yeah, sometimes I do. I think that I'd be lying if I said I didn't. You know? And again, we were a pretty close-knit family growing up. And again, as I said, my father influenced me in the way of working and earning. And that I'll always hold on to because I think it was important. And I greatly appreciate what's happened to me because of that. But also, again, you get a great feeling of responsibility towards others because of it too. Sometimes it's warranted, and sometimes it's not. You know.
At age 24, you got a lot of more years to go. If you could write out the kind of life that you would like to lead, what would you write?
If it continues like this, it'd be pretty good. I don't know. I have so many things I want to do and share and experience that. I don't know. I just hope I live it to the fullest and can inspire. Like I've been inspired. I'd love to inspire others and sort of. I mean, I feel like this year has been an important year because I really feel like now that I reflect on last year, I really feel like I've boosted the country a bit. You know, really, really, really excited by the influence that I've given. I mean, I don't know. I got them singing and dancing and excited, and that's exciting to me. And if I can continue to do that in some capacity with my films, and I think that's important because we need it. And there's so much aberration going on, so many awful things that if I can just do my part by inspiring everyone, God, that could be great. It really could.
You say it in terms of basically a career.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see anything for your personal life?
Well, I think that affects my personal life
It
because
does.
it's so much a part of. I mean, let's face it, you're with it so much that and again, I mean, my family, friends, and loved ones, I just feel it's all hand in hand. I don't know.
Everyone wants to push you into marriage, John. Do you think you're really ready for marriage? Do you ever really want to get married? I mean, there seems to be a day and an age where people don't have to get married. They can have lovely relationships.
I don't know. I have to fall in love first, actually. Again, I often think of having a family and how much I'd like it. But of course, that's something you have to go day by day with, and it's nothing you can plan. I don't think.
Is it difficult to fall in love?
It's something I have no real recipe for. I mean, it just either happens or it doesn't. You get you sort of postulate someone like you want to. You sort of create relationships in your mind. I mean, you can really create anything you want in your life, relationship wise, and depending on the time and the place and the inspiration, depends on whether it'll happen or not. You know, and it's happened in my life. You know, so I'm sure it's going to happen again. And
It hasn't happened too frequently, has it?
no, a couple of times.
They've been with older women, right?
Mm-hmm. So,
You give encouragement to older women, right?
absolutely. But,
If I ever trade Bill in, it'll be for $225, so I'll wait one more year for you, and that's going to be it.
okay,
Is that okay?
sure.
JT, thank you.
Thank you.